Hello learners, welcome to our YouTube channel and myself Simrit from Team CloudyML. And today is the first session of our aptitude training. Before, in the guide towards aptitude learning, we had seen the various classification of aptitude training and how to proceed with them by self-study or by referring various courses. So I hope you watched those videos to get a clear idea about aptitude training. If you haven't watched the video, do check out our aptitude training playlist. It is the first video in that playlist. Okay, so this is the session first for aptitude training, and I hope you're really very excited to learn new things about aptitude. So let's begin. In today's session, we will be covering 4 questions of quantitative aptitude. So it is better if you carry your book and pen along with you so that you can solve simultaneously with me. So let's begin. This is the first question of our first session. Let's read out the question first. So, if the length of the diagonal of a square is 20 centimeter, then its perimeter must be. And these are the 4 options that are given. Okay, so there's a formula in geometry which says the diagonal D of a square is always equal to the root 2 times S. S is nothing but the side of the square. Okay, so this is the formula that we will be majorly using in solving the question number 1. So this is question 1, which says that the diagonal is always equal to the root 2 times S. So in our question, we have been given the side or the diagonal of the square. So using the diagonal, we will first find the side or the length of the side. Okay. So what will be the formula for length of the side? Is equals to d by root 2. Okay, simply we brought root 2 down to divide it. This is S. Okay, well, now we will substitute the value of d. Value of d is nothing but 20, which is already given in the question. Root 2. Now what we will do is split this root 2 into, wait, I will show you. This is 2 and you need to cancel out this 2, this root 2. So what you will do for this is just split 20 into 2 into 10. Okay, this is 2 into 10, correct, which is 20. And now this 2 you will split into root 2 into root 2, because root 2 into root 2 is nothing but 2. So root 1 of the root 2's you will be getting, or you will be getting root 2 into 10, root 2 times 10. This first root and the second root 2 will get cancelled out, and you will be remaining with root 2 into 10. So this is our side length. Our side is root 2 times 10 centimeter. Now our question says that we need to find out the perimeter. As we all know, the perimeter of the square is nothing but 4 times side. Perimeter is 4 into side, correct? So let's substitute our side length into this formula, which is root 2 times 10. So 4 into 10 is nothing but 40 root 2. 40 root 2, this is the answer for our question. Let's see. Yes, 40 root 2 is present. The option A is our answer. Okay, so I hope you've understood the first question. It is very simple. You just need to put in the values into the formula. Now let's move with the second question. First, let's check out the question. The question says that a man reaches his office 20 minutes late if he walks from his home at 3 km per hour, and reaches 30 minutes early if he walks at 4 km per hour. how far is his office from his house? So we need to find the distance between the office to his house. Okay, and the information given is we are given two speeds, and the time the person requires to reach the place at these particular speeds. So first, now this is the question two. First, let's set let distance between the office be x. Okay, x is the distance between the office and the house. Next, what information we have is at speed 3 km per hour. The formula for speed is distance upon time. The time required at this speed, the speed is distance upon speed. We need to get the time, correct? Distance here we have considered as x and speed is given as 3. The time at speed 3 km per hour is 20 minutes. He reaches late. Okay, when the person travels at 3 km per hour, he reaches 20 minutes late. Okay, so we have given that at speed 3 km per hour, time is distance upon speed. So we substitute distance as x and speed as 3. Here the person reaches 20 minutes late. Similarly, at speed 4 km per hour, the time can be given as distance upon speed. And similarly, here we have x by 4 because the speed is 4. Here the person reaches 30 minutes early. Okay, here the person reaches 30 minutes early. In the next step, let's find out the difference between time 1 and time 2. Time 1, time 2, which is nothing but the times required at both the speed. Let's subtract 30 minus 20. Why minus 20? Because the person is reaching late, 20 minutes late, which means it is minus 20, and 30 minutes early, that is why it is positive 20, positive 30. So your answer will be 50. Okay, this 50 is in minutes, so let's convert it into seconds or into hours. See, here it was 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So this 50 is in minutes. For converting it into hours, let's give it divided by 60. Why we need to convert it into hours? Because both of our speeds are given in kilometer per hour. And also we need to find the distance in kilometer. So we need to convert it into hours. This is 50 by 60 hours. So let's substitute our distance speed formula into this equation. What this equation will say is difference between, we need to calculate difference between time 1 and time 2. So this difference between time 1 and time 2 is nothing but x by 4 minus x by 3. And this difference, we just found out this difference, which is 50 by 60. So simply write down 50 by 60. Now we just need to solve this equation to get the value of x, because x is nothing but the distance. We just need to find out x. So let's do it by simply using our simple mathematics, wherein we substitute or we solve these equations. Okay, so let's give it 4x minus 3x upon 12 equal to 50 by 60. Okay, so 4x minus 3x is nothing but x equal 50 by 60, and here the x will be the 50 will be multiplied by 12, because this 12 goes up to multiply with 50, and the answer that we obtain here is 10 kilometer. By dividing, we obtain the answer is 10 kilometer. Here you can do is 5 by 6. 5 will get multiplied by 12 to get 60, and 60 divided by 6 is nothing but 10 kilometer. Okay, so our answer for this question is 10 kilometer. Let's move on to the third question. Third question says that there are 3 beakers that have the capacity of 250 ml, 650 ml, and 200 ml. And 682 ml of juice is poured into them so that the same fraction of each is filled. The volume filled in the largest beaker will be. So let's first understand this question. This is the question 3. And you have 3 beakers, okay? This is the first beaker. And the next beaker is of size 650. This is the second beaker. And the third beaker is of the size 200. This is the smallest beaker, okay? This is 250 ml. Okay, then the next one is 650 ml. And the last one is 200 ml. These are the 3 beakers. And what the question says is that these beakers are filled to an equal proportion, which is of 682 ml of juice is poured into them so that the same fraction of each is filled. So we need to find out the volume filled in the largest beaker. The same fraction of the same part of this beaker will be filled. Like suppose half beaker is filled in 250, then half beaker will also be filled in 650 and half will be filled in 200. But the thing is, the total juice filled is 682 ml. Let's consider the fractions. So let's consider the fractions as P, Q and R, and as we know, equal amount of fractions have been filled. So all these 3 are equal. Okay, and the total amount of juice that is filled is 682, which is nothing but P plus Q plus R is 682. And now, as we know that this fraction which is filled is nothing but the division of the total volume, okay, which means that P by Q, P by 250, which is the total volume, is equal to Q by 650, and it is equal to R by 200. Because in the question it is given that equal fractions of all these beakers are filled. So this value is nothing but the fraction filled in the 250 ml beaker. This is the fraction or the portion of the beaker which is filled, and this is the portion of the last beaker which is filled. Okay, let's now let's now add up these fractions to get the value as 680. First, by using this equation, this is equal to 682 because the fractions are equal, and by referring to this equation, we will add all the numerators and all the denominators because it is equal, correct? So P plus Q plus R upon the total of 250 plus 650 plus 200 equal to 680. 682. P plus Q plus R is nothing but 682, and the total of 250 plus 650 plus 200 is nothing but 1100. So we get, by adding these 3 equations, we get these values, which is 682 by 1100. This is the RHS of these 3 fractions. Okay, so we need to find out the Q value, the fraction Q from the 650 beaker, correct? Because we need to find out the volume of juice filled in the largest beaker, which is nothing but the 650 ml beaker. So now let's just consider the middle fraction, which is this Q by 650, and equate it with 682 by 1100. Okay. Now just solve this to get the value of Q as 403 ml. When you solve this equation, bring 650 above, divide and multiply it, and you will get the value of Q as 403 ml, which is the third option, B option. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, which is the last question for this session. It is related to age. Okay, and let's check out the question. It says that father is aged 3 times more than his son Sunil. After 8 years, he would be 2.5 times of Sunil's age. So after further 8 years, how many times would he be of Sunil's age? So they have given a span of 8 years at current. This is the current equation which says father is aged 3 times more than his son Sunil. After 8 years, he will be 2.5 times. And after more 8 years, how many times would he be of his son's age? So let's frame this question into form of equations so that we can better understand it. So this is the question 4. Let father's age be F, son's age be S. Okay, for the current state, it says that father's age is 3 times more than his son's age. So 3 times more than his son's age. This is 3 times more, and this is the present age of his son. So which is total 4s. Don't get confused between 3 times more, because you can just, if you get confused, you will tend to write only 3s, but it is incorrect. It is just not 3 times, but it is 3 times more than his son's age. So this is for 3 times more than his son's age. If it would have been like this, that the father's age is 3 times of his son's age, then you would consider 3s. But in the question, it is given that the father's age is 3 times more than his son's age. So you need to also consider this plus s. So the father's current age is 4s. Next, after 8 years, the father's age is 2.5 times of his son's age. So after 8 years means f plus 8, and it is 2.5, 2.5 times the son's age, which will be s plus 8, because the son's age will also increase after 8 years. So the son's age would be s plus 8. Next, now we need to find out that what after further 8 years, how many times would he be of Sunil's age. So for first calculating that, we will be first calculating the S value or the son's age to get the final value. So how do we calculate the son's age? Simply substitute this 4s into this equation in place of f. So 4s plus 8 equal to 2.5 and s plus 8. So by solving these equations, let's solve it. 4 is 8 equal to 2.5, open the bracket, plus 2.5 into 8 will be nothing but will be 20. Next, what you will do is just subtract 4s minus 2.5s, which will be 1.5s, equal to 20 minus 8, which will be 12. So the value of s will be 12 divided by 1.5. Okay, so what will be 12 divided by 1.5? It will be nothing. Age is 8. Now we need to calculate the son's age after further 8 years. And before we have considered 8 years already. So after further 8 years, the son's age will be 8 plus 8 plus 8. Why? Because we had already considered this 8 while in this equation. Okay, so at current state it is 16 plus. So this current age will be 24 years of the son, and father's age, as we know, is 4s. To substitute the s value we just got right now into 4s. So 4 into 8, which is 32, and this is 16 years ahead. So you need to add 16, so the total will be 48. So the father's age will be 48. And the difference or the fraction, the ratio between the father's current age and the son's current age is 2, because 48 is 2 times more than 24. So the answer will be 2 times, which is the option D. Okay, so I hope you've understood all the questions. Go through the solutions again and again, practice it on your own. And I hope you've liked this first session of aptitude. If you have liked it, do like the video. Share the video with your friends for whom it will be beneficial as well. Subscribe the channel for further aptitude videos as well. Thank you.